Have you ever felt like you've been working so hard trying every single day, but life still doesn't seem to change much? No one sees your effort. No one acknowledges the journey you're fighting through. Everything moves so slowly that you start doubting yourself. I understand that feeling, because success doesn't come like a sudden storm. It's like a seed buried deep underground, silent, invisible, unknown to anyone, but inside, each day, it's still growing. You might not see anything change today, but every small action repeated is shaping a greater future. True success doesn't come from noise, it comes from quiet, daily discipline. Most people just want to harvest but forget to sow. They wait until they have money to save. They wait until they're free to learn. They wait until they're motivated to start. But you know, waiting never creates a harvest. Winners aren't more talented than you. They just have stronger habits of planting little by little every day. In today's video, I'll share with you 7 powerful principles that help you turn every day into a day of sowing. Not sowing for today, but sowing for your life ahead. And you should stay until the end of the video, because Principle 7 is the secret that most people overlook, and that's exactly why they fail. Principle 1, start small. Habits matter more than money. I once realized a painful truth. People aren't poor because they lack money, but because they lack the habit of making and keeping money. Most people wait for the perfect conditions to begin. They say, when I earn more, I'll start saving and investing. But when their income rises, they just spend more. If you can't save $1 out of $10 today, you won't be able to save $1,000 out of $10,000 tomorrow. In 1975, I met a young man in California. He told me, Jim, when I make $5,000 a month, I'll start saving. I looked him in the eye and asked, if you can't keep $1 from $500 now, do you really think you'll keep $10 from $5,000? He went silent, because he knew then the problem wasn't the money, it was the habit. Habits are the solid framework that supports your entire financial life. The money you earn is just the decoration on the surface. A person earning $3,000 a month, but consistently investing $5 a week will become wealthier than someone earning $30,000 a month, who spends it all. The first one plants seeds. The second one just mows the lawn. You don't get rich from grand once-in-a-while decisions. You get rich from small, repeated choices, quiet, daily habits that build strength over time. I learned this from my first mentor, Earl Schoaf. He told me, Jim, if you can't hold on to a small part of what you have now, you'll never hold on to a large part of anything. Then he asked me to do something that seems simple. Every time I earn $10, keep at least $1. Just $1. But from that small number, my future was rewritten. From someone waiting for miracles, I became someone in control of my own life. Many young people today in New York, Los Angeles, or anywhere can start the same way. A student earning $50 a week might say, that's too little to save. But if each week he invests $5 in an ETF, a mutual fund, or a skill-building course, he has already activated the first financial engine of his life. $5 a week is $260 a year. $260 a year for 10 years. It's not just the money that grows, it's the person himself. You don't need 10 giant leaps to change your life. You just need the first step. The flow of success always begins with a tiny stream. A seed doesn't become a tree in one day. But if you don't plant it today, there will be no tree tomorrow. $5 today might look like dust. But if planted in the soil of discipline, it will grow into a financial oak tree in the future. Remember, sow, nurture, wait, then harvest. That's the unchanging cycle of wealth. And the entire journey starts with one tiny decision to begin now, even with just a few dollars in your pocket. But starting small is only laying the foundation. If you want your wealth-building habits to never break, you need a system to protect them. An automatic mechanism that keeps your discipline safe from emotions and temptations. And that's exactly what Principle 2 is about. Principle 2, automate 1% of your income, unbreakable discipline. Most people have good intentions on payday. Today I'll save some money. But a few days later, that new shirt goes on sale, friends invite you out, or an ad for the latest shiny phone pops up, and just like that, the money meant for sowing disappears. You don't fail because you don't know how to save. You fail because you let emotions control your money. In financial life, emotions are polite thieves. They don't steal your money. They whisper to you, it's okay, just this time, enjoy yourself. The problem is, this time keeps coming back. And then you wake up, look at your account and ask, where did all my money go? If you let emotions drive, you'll always lose your way. But if you let systems take the wheel, you'll head straight toward financial freedom. Back in the 1,960 seconds when I started earning my first sales commissions, I thought that as long as I wanted to save, I would. But month after month, I spent it all. Until my mentor told me this, Jim, don't let what's left decide your future. Let the first part do that. He taught me a rule that looks simple. Get paid, immediately set aside 10% for investment. Then spend the rest. Not the last 10%, but the first 10%. That's how successful people protect their seeds from life's tempting storms. I once coached an office worker in Texas. She said, Jim, I've tried so hard, but I still can't save. I asked, do you save manually or automatically? She said, manually. I smiled and said, so that means every time you save, it's because you beat yourself. But you know, you won't always win. The following week, she set up an automatic 10% deduction from every paycheck. 3 months later, she messaged me, Jim, for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm winning. You see, automation doesn't just build solid discipline, it also gives you a sense of control over your life. Imagine 2 financial paths. Path 1, you spend first, then see what's left, usually $0. Path 2, you invest in your future first. Today's spending adjusts automatically. Whichever path you choose, you also choose your financial destiny. And the best part is, you don't need to be brilliant to do this. Just one simple setup in your banking app, automatic 10% deduction. Done. You now have lifetime financial discipline. One small decision, but it's the shield that protects every seed you plant. Yet no matter how good your system is, there will still be days you'll want to quit because results seem too slow, too small, too silent. And that's when you must understand principle 3, where the reward doesn't go to the fastest, but to the most persistent. Principle 3, endurance beats speed. There's a major reason why so many people never become wealthy. They want to see immediate results from their early efforts. If they invest $50 this week and don't see growth in their account, by next week they feel disappointed. If they read a book and their income doesn't increase, they feel frustrated. If they stay disciplined for a month and life still looks the same, they conclude these things don't work. And so they quit right before the miracle begins. But success isn't a sprint. It's a lifelong marathon. The wealthy don't win by the fastest stride, they win by the last stride. When I started investing the smallest amounts of my life, nothing seemed to change. No fireworks, no applause, everything was silent as if nothing was happening. Success always begins in silence. And that silence is exactly where most people turn away. I remember once planting a few beans in my backyard. Every morning I checked to see if they had grown. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, still nothing. Week 1, nothing noticeable. If I had quit, then I would have forever believed those seeds would never sprout. But then one morning, a tiny green sprout, fragile, as a strand of hair pushed through the soil. It didn't bloom in a day, but it was alive. It had conquered the darkness I couldn't see. Your daily sowing habits work the same way. Invest today, you might see nothing. Learn today, no one notices. Stay disciplined today. Life seems unchanged. But beneath the surface, your character is developing, your assets are forming, your future is growing. The best financial advice I've ever heard is never judge a tree by its first week's results. You might not see progress every day, but one day you'll see all the results at once. It's like compound interest. It looks ordinary for a long time until it becomes unstoppable. The truth is, successful people aren't more talented than you. They don't start from a better place. They just outlast you long enough to earn the reward. Every day you sow, you move one step forward. Every day you quit, you start all over again. And let me make this clear. Not every principle works quickly, but every principle works if you stay long enough. So, if you ever feel like you're moving too slowly, remember the consistent always outrun the fast who quit halfway. But endurance alone isn't enough. You also need to plant the right kind of seeds. And that's why Principle 4 will reveal a truth. Not all seeds make you rich. Only the ones you plant in yourself create the greatest harvest. If these principles are awakening something in you, don't forget to hit subscribe so we can keep planting seeds of wealth together, and one day you'll harvest what others never have. Principle 4, invest in knowledge before assets. Here's a truth most people don't want to face. You can't become truly wealthy unless you become smarter every day. Money stays with those who know how to keep it. And money grows for those who know how to make it multiply. But sadly, most people invest in what shows instead of what matters. They'll spend $200 on designer shoes, but hesitate to spend $20 on a book that could increase their income. They'll pay $100 for a fancy dinner, but think twice before spending $50 on a new skill. They'll gladly pay for entertainment, but resist paying for growth. I always tell young people, the smarter you become, the harder it is for money to leave you. When I was 25, I thought making money was the most important thing. But my life changed when I met my great mentor, Earl Schoaf. He told me, Jim, don't chase money. Chase wisdom, because wisdom will chase money for you. He handed me a list of books to read. He made me dedicate part of my income to buying knowledge. Not to show off that I own books, but to let that knowledge become an invisible asset that would feed me for life. I once met a college student in New York. She spent $40 a month on fancy coffee. But when offered a $49 course to improve her digital marketing skills, she said, maybe later, I'm not ready. 3 months later, she was still sitting in that same cafe, and her bank account was exactly the same. You'll never change your life through expensive entertainment, only through smart investments. Every book you read is a seed of thought. Every skill you learn is a new fertile field. Every course you complete is a door to your future. And you know what's special? No one can ever take away what you've learned. Stocks can drop, real estate can lose value, jobs can disappear, but the skills, knowledge, and mindset you own are unshakable financial weapons. I've never met anyone who invested in knowledge and became poorer, but I've met countless people who only paid for pleasure and stayed stuck forever. If you want to harvest the sweetest fruits, plant your seeds in the most fertile soil, your own mind, because no one can invest for you and no one can harvest for you. But no matter how much you invest in knowledge, everything still comes down to one cold truth. Every spending decision you make is a vote for your future. And that's exactly what Principle 5 will forever change the way you use your money. Principle 5, every spending decision is a vote for your future. Every time you open your wallet, you're casting a vote for your future. You're choosing between two candidates, financial freedom, lifelong dependence. The problem is, most people vote unconsciously. They walk into a store planning to buy milk, but walk out with a full cart and no idea why. They scroll social media for just 5 minutes, but ended up buying a 40% off item they never needed. They spend from emotion and wake up to long-term regret. How many times have you bought something only to forget it a few weeks later? The problem isn't the item, it's the habit behind it. I once met a man in Chicago making $4,000 a month. He said, Jim, why am I always broke? I asked him one question, do you know where every dollar goes? He didn't, because money leaves quietly if you don't tell it to stay. That $6 coffee every morning seems harmless, but $6 times 365 days equals $2, 190 a year. $2, 190 a year for 10 years. Invested wisely could become tens of thousands of dollars, all from morning coffee. What keeps you poor isn't the big expenses that happen rarely. It's the small leaks that happen daily. You think you're spending money, but sometimes you're just trading your future for a brief moment of pleasure. Pause for 1 second before every purchase and ask, will this make me richer or poorer? That single question could save your entire life. Remember these 3 truths. Unidri. Every expense is a financial decision. 2, every financial decision either plants or uproots a seed. And 3, the future is built from today's smallest choices. Once you become aware of what you're voting for, you instantly separate yourself from 95% of people out there because they let money leave without inviting it back. But you from today on tell every dollar, bring a friend back with you. Once you change how you spend, you don't just change your bank account, you change your financial mindset for life. But even if you master spending control, your future won't change if you only understand but never act. And that's exactly what Principle 6 will solve the secret to breaking the I'll start tomorrow loop and beginning to sow your seeds today. Principle 6, act today. Even if it's just one small thing, there's an enemy more dangerous than failure. An enemy that kills more dreams than all mistakes combined. Its name is I'll do it tomorrow. Not never, not I give up, but tomorrow I'll get serious. But the truth is, tomorrow rarely comes, and if it does, it often comes too late. I once met a guy in New Jersey. He always said, when I'm less busy, when I'm more ready, I'll change. A year later, I met him again. Everything was exactly the same. The job was the same. Income didn't increase. The dream still stayed in his head. And the promise I'll start, but not today was still there. Procrastination isn't loud. It doesn't make noise like failure. It quietly steals your life day by day. You don't need a whole year to change your life. You just need 5 seconds of courage to start what you know you must do. Start small, but start now. If today you can only save $1, save it. If today you can only read 2 pages, read them. If today you can only study for 10 minutes, study. People don't fail because they move too slowly. They fail because they stop too soon. Don't wait for motivation to act. Motivation doesn't make you act. Action creates motivation. The longer you wait, the bigger the fear. The more you act, the stronger the belief. Today you plant a tiny seed, tomorrow you plant another. A month later you look back and say, I've come a ways. A year later you'll realize you're far from where you started. Every transformation journey begins with today. Not the perfect day, not the free day, not the day you have more money, but the day you decide. You don't need to be ready to start. You need to start to become ready. So if you're watching this video, this isn't a coincidence. This is the reminder life is sending you. Plant the seed right now. But once you've begun, once you've sown, make sure every seed you plant isn't just an action, but becomes part of your identity. That's the key in Principle 7, where success is no longer something you do, but the person you become. Principle 7, make sowing seeds your identity. Habits only truly change your life when they're no longer something you try to do, but something you are. There are 2 kinds of people in this life. The first says, I'm trying to save, I'm trying to invest, I'm trying to be disciplined. They do it when they remember. They stop when life gets busy. They sow for one day, skip a week, and then wonder why the tree hasn't grown. The second says, I'm someone who always sows. I'm someone who always sets money aside for the future. I'm someone who never gives up. They don't need inspiration to sow. They sow because that's who they are. When you see habits as work, you get tired. When you see habits as identity, you endure. A friend of mine in Los Angeles once said, Jim, I'm not rich because I haven't met the right opportunity. I told him opportunities don't create rich people. Rich people create opportunities. Money doesn't make you rich. Your identity is what makes you rich. Some people win the lottery for millions, but a few years later, they're back where they started. What's the reason? Their bank account used to be rich, but they weren't. You can lose all your money. But if the seeds of discipline and a wealthy mindset remain in you, you'll rebuild everything and make it better than before. Successful people don't ask, what do I have to do to be rich? They ask, who must I become to be rich? Let what you do every day become the proof that you're the one who will win. When you set aside 10% of your income, you're saying, I'm someone who always prioritizes my future. When you invest time in learning, you're saying, I'm someone who knows I deserve bigger opportunities. When you persist even when no one sees, you're saying, I'll harvest on the day others think I just got lucky. And then one day, others will look at you and wonder, why did his life change so fast? They won't know that you were sowing every day in silence while they were waiting for the perfect moment. That's when you won't need to prove anything anymore. Life will speak for you. We finished the 7 golden principles. But this journey isn't over, because every seed only truly matters when you start planting from today. And that's what I'll talk about in the conclusion, where I invite you to make your first commitment to change your life. You and I share the same great gift today. Today isn't a reward, it's an opportunity, a seed placed in your hand, and you must choose what to do with it. You can let it sit still, then convince yourself that tomorrow I'll plant it. But you know this already. Tomorrow doesn't nourish your dream, today does. If you start planting small seeds, nurture them with discipline, protect them with systems, and continue even when you can't see anything yet, one day you'll stand in a field so vast that even you are astonished. Did I really plant all of this? And you'll smile and remember, it all began with a very small decision made at exactly this moment. So before you leave this video, ask yourself one simple question that could change your entire life. What's the first small seed you will plant today? Leave a comment below. I want to read it from you. And remember, once you write it down, you've cast your first vote for your future. If this video touched you, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend you want to sow seeds with every day. We'll walk together, one day at a time. I'll be here to keep reminding you to sow the best seeds. And I want to end with a quote I always keep in mind. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you become. Jim Rohn. See you in the next video from Rohn Treasures. Use today wisely.